Welcome back to my next playthrough series. This time it's Marvel Legendary. I've had this game for quite a long time. I have most of the expansions now except for the villain stuff. And I've mixed everything together and used the Assemble app that you can get for iOS or your iPad or phone. It's just called Assemble. And it's even on the internet, I believe, at a website as well. So I just used that. So I'll just run down the setup here quickly. I'm using Maria Hill, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. as the mastermind, and she is from Civil War. And I'm using Flood the Planet with Melted Glaciers as the scheme. We'll take a closer look at these here in a minute. And that's from the Fantastic Four expansion. And for the villains, in the villain deck over here, we have Masters of Evil, World War II from Captain America, 75th anniversary. And we have S.H.I.E.L.D. Elite from Civil War. The Henchmen in the same deck shuffled in. We have Sapien League. And our villain deck is comprised of 2 bystanders, 5 master strikes, 8 scheme twists, no wounds. And our heroes, which have all been shuffled into here and out into HQ. We're using Agent X-13 from Captain America 75th Anniversary, Black Swan, Secret Wars Volume 2, Captain America 1941, from the Captain America 75th Anniversary, and Ruby Summers, Secret Wars Volume 2. Also, Steve Rogers, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. from Captain America 75th Anniversary. So again, how did I derive at all that? I used the app to give me a normal game, and that is what it spat out for me. And so that's what we're going to be doing. I'm not going to go through a how to play. Once again, Watch It Played has a how to play Marvel Legendary. I'm going to be doing a 2-player game. Basically, player on the left and a player on the right. We start out with a hand of 12 basic cards, 8, what are they called? 8 shield agents and 4 shield troopers. Basically, recruit and attack. All right. We'll take a look at our mastermind. Of course, the mastermind has underneath her 4 master or strike cards. When we get a master strike, or when we defeat her, we have to defeat all 4. Anyway, you know how to play the game. I'm not going to go into too many details. We'll get into it as we play. So it's Maria Hill, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mastermind. And she has double shield clearance. You can't fight Maria Hill while there are any shield elite or officers in the city. So it doesn't take much to hit her, but if there's any elites or shield agents in the city, you can't attack her. So that's going to be a little difficult. Always lead, so shield elite, yes, they are in the game. Master strike. So when a master strike shows up, 2 shield officers enter the city as 3 attack villains. When you fight them, gain them as heroes. So basically what happens is the shield officers are going to just show up in the city as villains. When you beat them, they go into your discard pile as recruits. Okay, now let's take a look at the scheme twist. What are we trying to foil? And it's Flood the Planet with Melted Glaciers. So where the setup is, we're going to put 8 twists into the deck, which we've already done. And then whenever a twist shows up, you stack the twist next to the scheme as Rising Waters. Then KO each hero from the headquarter whose cost is less than or equal to the number of Rising Waters in the stack. That's going to get very dangerous later on. Evil wins when 20 non-gray heroes are KO'd. Well, what's a non-gray hero? It's anything from the HQ, not our standard regular troopers and shield agents. All right, I guess maybe we'll zoom down on these cards and take a quick look at what's in the HQ right now, because there's a couple of buzzwords in there that need to be explained a little bit before we start playing. All right, I hope we can kind of read the text here. I'll just read it for you, but we have a Black Swan, a 7-cost card. This must be the best elite card. And it says, reveal the top 5 cards of the villain deck, and you get attack equal to the printed value on one of those cards. And of course, the printed value on all the villains and stuff is this little red value there, which is done at the end of the game if you're playing sort of semi-co-op, which I just do full co-op. I don't really care who gets the most points, but we will need to track that for certain effects. And then you put in any order. If you've already played a card with this team symbol on it, then you get attack for 2 of the villain cards of the 5 you pull off. Okay, another buzzword here on Shadows of War's Past is it's called Savior, Man Out of Time. And so what the Savior means, just to take a look at the rules here, if we can read this quickly. Savior, this keyword ability on heroes and villains rewards you for saving the innocent. It means use this ability if you have at least 3 bystanders in your victory pile. Okay, so that's... if you recruit this card and you use it, you can use Savior if you have 3 bystanders in your victory pile. That's where we have to keep track of that during this playthrough. What is Man Out of Time or Woman Out of Time? Well, what that means is down here, Man and Woman Out of Time. Heroes from 1941 use keyword ability, represent fighting in both the past and the present. So after you use this card's ability, you set it aside at the beginning of your next turn, play this card a second time, then discard it. So you basically get to play the card twice, but you have to be a Savior, of course, and be able to activate Man or Woman Out of Time for this particular card. Now we have 2 cards the same here, and it says it also has the Savior ability on it, so we won't bother with that. And we'll get into the card when we buy them. We'll look at them more specifically. And this one here is kind of interesting. You get the Woman Out of Time ability if you have 4 symbols for the team. I guess that's the Captain America 1941 team. So that takes a lot to do Woman Out of Time on this particular card. All right, I'm going to zoom back out, and then I think we're just going to get into it. We'll do a few turns, see how things go. Once again, I'm not explaining really how to play the game. I've set up the villain deck, I've set up the hero deck, we've looked at the scheme, what we're trying to foil, and we look at our mastermind. So I'm going to zoom out, and we're going to begin. Alright, so we're going to be in on the left here. We'll call this player 1. And we get 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What have I got here? 4, 5, 6 cards is your basic hand. Of course, the edges are starting to fray. I have not sleeved these ones. It has been played a lot, but I don't really care. It's okay. So, of course, we're going to have our starting hand, and it looks like we have a trooper, 2 troopers, and 4 shield agents. So let's deal with that here in a minute. Up first, though, in any turn, you must reveal the top card of the villain deck and see what it is. And oh, goody, we get a Master Strike right off the very first pull. So we're going to take a look at Maria Hill. Master Strike. Well, Master Strike, 2 shield officers enter the city as 3 attack villains. When you fight them, you gain them as heroes. So basically, what's happening is 2 of these shield officers enter the city. So we're going to take up the sewer and the bank as shield agent villains. Wow. Okay, that's and of course we just put the Master Strike over into the KO box, discard box. Wow. So what can we do? Well, we only have 2 strikes. 2 strikes is not enough to take out one of these because it would take 3 strikes. So our troopers are kind of useless for this turn, but we do have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 shield agents for recruiting purposes. And what do we want to do for 4? I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to recruit the Shadow of War's Past, Steve Rogers, and that costs us 4, and it will do a 2 attack, but it also has the Savior and Man Out of Time abilities if we are able to save 3 bystanders eventually. So that's going to be basically the very first turn for player 1, and we're going to replace the card with another Captain America 41. And 3 of these symbols, you may KO one of those heroes that you played this turn. If you do, rescue a bystander. All right, lots of bystander stuff. I don't know if many bystanders are going to show up in this game, but anyway, that was the first turn for our first player. And so we will just continue on then with player 2. And we'll do that here in a second. Okay, so continuing on, player 2, 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. And, well, we'll just take a quick look at the hand. Agent. Come on, we need 3 troopers. We have 2 troopers and 4 agents, exactly the same hand. Ooh, this is bad news because there's only 4 troopers in your hand. And, of course, we need to add a card to the villain row. And what is our second card? It is the Sapien League. And to fight them, KO one of your heroes. Then reveal the top card of the villain deck. If it is a henchman villain, play it. So they also take 3 to take out. Wow, this could be pretty nasty. All right, well, again, once more, we need 3 attack to take out anybody in the city. We are not able to do that, so we're right into the same situation we were just a moment ago. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 recruit for player 2. And with 4 recruit, we could get one of these or one of these. And I think, what are we going to do with 4 recruit? I think we're going to probably go ahead and get one of these. International Strike Force, Steve Rogers, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. It gives you basically 0/0, but you get +1 recruit for each hero class you have. And hero class is the little symbol here, so team, and then hero class underneath. So this card by itself, of course, would be worth 1 recruit, but if you play a different symboled card eventually, then you get 2 recruit, 3, 4, and more. So we'll go ahead and purchase that. And then we're going to have to replace the hero in HQ. And we get the form of Solid Ruby, Ruby Summers, and costing 6. Wow, you can read that if you like. I'd have to put my glasses on to see little tiny text, but there we go. That's going to do that. That's going to be the end of player 2's first turn into the discard pile. Of course, we're going to draw 6 new cards for next hand. And then when we come right back, I think I'm going to do probably 1 more turn each, and I think that will be good enough for introductory episode for Marvel Legendary. All right, let's take a look at the hand of player 1, which is a trooper. It's going to be 4 agents and 2 troopers again, because we split it evenly there, so that's not great. And we get a card now from the villain deck going into the city possibly, and we get the Executioner. Oh man, that looks brutal. Villain, Master of Evil. Masters of Evil World War II. Ambush. Executioner captures a bystander. Fight. Savior, draw a card. So if you have Savior, we draw a card. Escape, KO a bystander from each player's victory pile. Wow, this guy is brutal. He enters the city. And he's going to, and I put the bystander deck, which I didn't mention, face down because I have all the bystanders from all the expansions, and they may not be just the generic bystander. And this one is Shape-Shifting Copycat Bystander. And it says when you rescue this bystander, this card becomes a villain with 3 attack and enters the city. It gains the ability Fight, KO one of your heroes. Oh, great. We don't really want to rescue that bystander, but there we go. That's the bystander there. And now it's time to play. Again, I only have 2 attack, 4 recruit. This is not an auspicious start for the game. So 4 recruit, we have, oh man, what do we want to recruit? I think we want to get cycling cards through here. So we will recruit one of the International Strike Force. Steve Rogers, once again, 0 and 0. You get +1 for each class of hero you have. And if you're a savior, you get 1 attack for each class of hero. So in it goes. And that's going to be the end of the second turn for player 1. And I won't remember which turn it is after a while, so I won't bother saying, wow, that looks like the best card for Captain America, 1941. Savior, Man Out of Time, 5 attack. Wow, costing 8 to recruit, though. Up next and last for this episode is going to be our second player taking a turn, and it looks like our city's filling up. Not good. Alright, so our second player, they have again exactly the same hand as last time. It's going to be 4 recruit, 2 attack, and that's not enough to take out anything in the city. This is bad news. So let's take a look at our villain card. What's going to be popping into the deck now is a Scheme Twist. Oh, yay. Put that over there because I do believe that's the Rising Waters. Oh, we're looking at the Mastermind. Let's take a look at the Scheme instead. So, Twist. We are going to stack the Twist next to the Scheme of Rising Waters. Then KO each hero from the HQ whose cost is less than or equal to the number of Rising Waters in the stack. Well, we have 1 Rising water in the stack. So is anything worth 1 or less? No, it isn't. Our HQ is safe for now. Wow, well, it didn't move our villains along in the city, but we still don't have a heck of a lot we can do. 2 attack, not enough to take anything out. 4 recruit. And 4 recruit, our recruit numbers here are getting very high. I think what I'm going to actually do is recruit one of these shield officers, because it's worth 2 recruit for later on. So that's basically going to be the end of the turn for our second player, and I think it's going to be the end of this episode for today. And so thanks so much for watching along. This is Marvel Legendary. We are trying to stop the evil Maria Hill, Director S.H.I.E.L.D. Mastermind, from flooding the entire world by melting all of the glaciers. And yeah, I don't know how we're going to do. This is can be a tough game. I find this game starts off like kind of a slow burn. You get pounded quite a bit, and then eventually the synergy and the better cards start coming into your hand, and you're able to turn the tide. But I don't know. This could be a quick playthrough where I get crushed. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, your suggestions, your subscriptions and likes. Really appreciate it. This is Marvel Legendary with basically all the expansions chucked together. So thanks so much for watching along, and we'll see you next time.